Hi and welcome to Art NuVogue, the exciting video blog where I, Leilani Joy, combine my love of art and fashion to inspire a new illustration each and every week. This week's assignment, create a piece inspired by the last film you saw in a theater. So the last film I saw in the theater was Inception, that's currently playing, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. It's the new film by Christopher Nolan, creator of Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Memento, some other cool films that I'm not sure of off the top of my head. But if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it. It's definitely visually stunning and great storytelling. Kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time trying to wrap your head around the concept. It's unique and it's definitely a lot of fun. So for inspiration-wise, it's not very hard to get inspired by this film. It's very visual, has some great images, and it's also starring the beautiful, gorgeous Marion Cotillard, who I am a huge fan of, and I think I will be basing my piece off of her today, off her character in the film. So, a little about Marion, if you haven't seen much of her before. She is an Oscar-winning French actress who in the film portrays Leonardo DiCaprio's wife, who sort of tragically loses herself between reality and the dream world. She also ends up becoming sort of a ghost-like entity that really haunts Leonardo DiCaprio and fills him with a lot of regret in his life. Her character is very symbolic in the film, and it's definitely inspired me to use her as the subject for this piece. So before I started sketching here, I did a quick Google Images search of some shots from the film and some images of the actress. Then I also shot a couple reference photos for the pose that I decided I wanted to go with on this piece. I also put on the soundtrack by the amazing Hans Zimmer that you're hearing playing right now, just to get me in the right mood and get the right feel for this piece. So now that I have a rough sketch of the figure that I want to use, I'm starting to work up this background that I want to insert the figure into. I really want it to be sort of an homage to the film, sort of the decaying architecture and sort of almost gothic, futuristic looking scene here. And I want it to be sort of organic and also sort of abstracted, so I'm going to just kind of see where the paint takes me on this one and keep working it up until I get a background I'm happy with. So I'm really starting to like this background that's developing here, but I'd like to give it just a little bit more pop and a little bit more structural feel. So I decided to cut out some collage elements and apply them with some matte medium and just blend them in also with some paint, just to give it a little bit more architectural realism and texture here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So now that I'm happy with this background and it's all dry, I'm going to apply the drawing that we did earlier. So I'm going to use a material called Ceral, and it's basically a graphite transfer paper that you can put underneath your drawing and draw on top of it, and you can lift it off and you will see your drawing appear underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll finish up painting in the rest of the piece. I decided I want to add in this window frame shape around my figure here. So I'm going to go ahead and mask off the areas that I don't want to be painted and paint in white where I want the windowsill to appear. I think it'll give it just a little bit more focus on the figure, and it's also kind of an important element in the film if you haven't seen it yet. So now I get to work on my favorite part of every piece, is drawing in the face and starting to get some real emotion and feeling into the painting. And I am using a reference photo of Marion here next to my painting, which you can't see. So I am trying to get her likeness, but also sort of stylize it to my own personal style. So I'm going to finish painting in the hair here and getting some depth in the eyes, and so we're getting very close to being done. So I decided I need a little bit more contrast behind the figure to make her pop out a little more. So I'm adding some final collage and going to do a few more elements to the background just to really tie the rest of this piece together. So as a final element, I decided to add this black lace to Mal's dress here just to make her look a little bit more pretty, and I think that it also makes a great texture addition to this. So some final touches on her face and her hair here, and then we can go ahead and take a look at the final piece. Before I do the big reveal and show you guys the final piece, I would just like to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video blog. If you did, please leave me a comment, become a fan on Facebook, or follow me here on Tumblr. Oh, and if you're interested in purchasing this piece, or if you have a suggestion for a future challenge you'd like to see me take on my show, please send me an email to leilani@leilanijoy.com. I would love to hear from you. And now, without further ado, let's take a look at the finished piece.